Well, hello everyone, welcome back. I'm your friend InsXO. I believe you have watched my last video how to use Python and Binance API to make a Bitcoin trading bot. But I must say I made some mistakes on that videos. I misunderstood some concepts of those parameters or arguments for those functions. And in this video, I'm gonna try to fix those errors that I made. Here comes to the first mistake that I made, which is quantity. Well, the quantity is actually the numbers of the coins you can buy or how many coins you want to buy. For example, if you want to buy one coin, then you'll set the quantity equal to 1. And if you want to buy 15 coins, then you have to set the quantity to 15. Okay, remember this. This is the first mistake that I made. Another mistake is that for any numbers you use when you making such a trading bot, one thing you have to be very careful, which is for every number or for every float you use, you have to put it into the decimal function. Why you do that? Well, because for sometimes the number could be very long. For example, it could be something like this. If you put such a float number into the float variable, you'll get an error. Here, as you could say, when I type a long float number into the float function, look what I got. I got a wrong number. But if we do it with a decimal function, we'll get it correct. And what's more funny about it is that it could be just used for the calculation directly. As you could say here, we just modified it by 2. Okay, so this is the second mistake that I made. So for every value, for every float, for every number you use, you convert it to a decimal type. Or you can even import it as a D function. For this case, you don't have to type the decimal, but instead you say the D right in here, as you could say here. Alright, then let's talk about the third mistake that I made. After play around with those Binance API, I have another one thing, which is we cannot actually freely, we cannot doing the trading freely, totally by our willing. It actually have some limitations. For example, here we got a filter called tick size. What is the tick size? If you look here, you say the filter tick size equal to a number. Okay, so it's a number to define the price range. It has a minimal price and a max price. Your price should be a number between the two numbers. In other words, for every trade you made, the price should be greater than 0.01. That's why here I use this command to get such a minimal price. Then I do a quantity. I do a quantities. I don't know the meaning of the quantities, but it seems like what it does is to convert our price. If I say if the price less than the minimal price, then the price would be just equal to the minimal price. This is what this line of code does. It does this kind of thing. And also, if your price have a lot of zeros after the dot, then your price will be converted into a less into a less zero form. It's quite hard to describe this thing. But I'll try my best.
Quantize.
The meaning for this word is quantize. What is that? Applying quantum theory to, no, that's probably not right. Approximate a continuous signal by one whose amplitude is restricted to a pre-described set of values. This is probably the explanation for our case. But that doesn't matter. Let me just explain that. So what that function does is to, let's say if you have a filter, called 0.21 and you have an original number like 0.000000123. Then after that function, the output number you'll get is 0.21. Do you understand? And we can test it out. Okay, now we got our test set. Now we're gonna run this code. Alright, this is what you get. Well, it's not something that I expected it would be, but as you could say, the length information was kept, but after that length, it was abandoned. So now if you go back to this, you'll get 0.00. But what if you get an origin number like this, 9900? That's what's your output? Well, your output would become 0.99. Now I'm pretty sure it's working since our code. Okay. Then we come up with the minimal quantity. It defines the minimal numbers of that coin you want to buy, or you could buy, or you have to buy. For now, as you could say, it's 0. Whatever. But actually, it has another limitation or restriction. It is called minimal notional. Minimal notional. You know, at the first, I didn't even know what's that mean. For now, I still do not know what does that mean for a notional keyword in here. If that makes sense. But it defines the minimal USDT that you have to pay for this trading. So for this case, it's 10 USDT. So in here, what I did is first I find out the minimal notional number or value. Then I do a verification. I do a multiplication for the quantity and price so that we could get the total USDT that we will pay for the coins that we want to buy. And if it's less than the minimal notional filter, then I'm going to calculate out the right quantity, the minimal quantity that we should give out, which is I divide the minimal notional filter by the coin price, and I multiply that quantity by 1.01, so that we could make sure that it's higher than the minimal notional filter. And after that, we do a string format. For me, for now, as I think this function, what it does is to do a format for that string. But in this case, the string will always be a number or float number, whatever you say it. Okay. So after that, we give those two values as a float type to the order limiter cell function. Finally, it's working. So I almost spend 1 or 2 hours to get into here. As you could say, this function get current balance, get current coin price, order limit sale, and order limit buy. The 4 functions are the essential parts for your automatically trading bot. They are the foundations for your bot. So if you want to develop your own, you will always need the 4 APIs. Okay, so that's today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoy this, and maybe I'll just no, I won't share this code with you guys, because I think it's more important for you guys to actually do the coding by yourself than copying others. That only when you could solve the problem by yourself, you can be a really real engineer. But sometimes it's also important to, ask help for others, because you cannot be an expert for every different domains. But anyway, you have to be strong at your own domain first. All right, that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.